Welcome back to the Morning Blend. Well, if you're a parent of a future college student, chances are you're worried about two things: what college your child will get into and how you're going to pay for it.
And today, how you can get a free consultation or visit a free workshop to help with both of those important decisions. Meet Chad Harbeck and J.W. Hindman, a college funding specialist at Integrated College Planning. Hi, gentlemen.
What up, guys?
It's nice to have you here. I think this is an important thing for many people with kids, regardless of where they're at sometimes in their schooling, right? It's never too early.
Never too early.
Well, last time you guys were here, I said, you know, what if your student is in middle school and you're like, second grade isn't too early? Why is that? Why should people start thinking about college and planning for it financially as early as possible?
If you look at most people and the way they plan for the big R, retirement. And we, on a daily basis, run into families that all of a sudden their child's 17 years old or 15 years old in a year and a half are going to be going off to college, and they say, how are we going to pay for this? So it's easier to help devise a plan when they're younger as opposed to when we're waiting till we're 15 years old to figure that out.
How did you guys get started with college integrated planning?
I actually started way back in 2003, so we've been doing it for 11 years. We had parents, JW and I are both financial advisors. We have parents that come to us and say, what do you know about this FAFSA form, or this financial aid process? So what we really did was sit down and figure out what steps they needed to take, how the system worked, all that kind of stuff. I read the Department of Education rules and regulations to figure out what all the updates are and how everything counts on the FAFSA form, and really learn how the system works to be able to help people navigate through the process.
And that's probably good, because I can imagine most parents aren't reading through that.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that we need somebody like you, a specialist, to want to read through that, learn all those things,
Yeah,
and
there's
then
no
help
book.
people. Yeah, right. So how do you help? How do you actually help the families then?
We really sit down with the families and take a look at where they're at, how their students have been performing, what their ACT scores is, and really start positioning them into the appropriate colleges based on their academic performance.
What kind of families do you think would benefit most from your services, JW?
I don't think that there's any family that wouldn't benefit from our service. And actually what we've found is that when we have people come in for a complimentary consultation, they actually will find out a lot of secrets and things like that that a lot of people don't know about. So what we pride ourselves on is the fact that we really enjoy to meet people, help them as much as possible. If we can help the people who come in, we will. And if we can't, then we give them a lot of knowledge for them to go home with, and hopefully they can get through the process a little easier.
There's a lot of parents, there's a lot of grandparents watching at home today, and they're going to say, okay, so when should I start? When should I really think about this? When would you hope that families come to you?
Typically, we're going to be looking at freshman, sophomore year is ideal. Junior year, you're starting to think about spring break trips and where am I going to be sending the kids? Well, you know what? Why don't you have some knowledge about different colleges and actually go on those spring break trips to the different colleges and see them in action versus if you go in the summer when there's no students there. So it's a better idea to actually look sophomore, junior year.
What's one of the biggest mistakes parents make in planning for college?
I would say that it is, from a financial aid standpoint, is that parents will come in and say that all colleges are created equal when it comes to financial aid. So they'll think that one college will give the same amount of free money as another college, and that's just not the case.
Well, and you guys know so much about the ins and outs of which colleges pay the most, and I think just helping in that selection process is huge. How can people find out more about this process? What's a good way for people to get started and hear more about the ideas you have for planning?
The workshop would be a great place for them to
'Cause it's
come
free.
in a non-threatening
Exactly.
environment, and we can answer lots of questions in the workshop.
And you have them all over.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I was going to say some of the questions that you answer is you really kind of go through what your EFC, which stands for
Expected family contribution.
exactly, can be. You can find out how to lower that. You can establish different types. Here's a a graphic of everything. You can establish different types of financial aid and narrow down your top 3 college choices and what they're going to give you. I remember when I went to college, and I think this is very true of many people today, even if you're looking at some of those options, you really need to know where you're going to get the money, because that can determine which one you choose in the very end.
And I love what you guys say, and that is that we believe every parent needs to know how to get the most money possible to send their child off to college, the college of their choice, without going broke.
Yeah.
So here's more information now about those free college funding workshops. They're from 6:30 to 7:45 p.m. The first 2 coming up March 12th in Milwaukee and Lake Geneva. Then you move to Kettle Moraine and Kenosha on March 14th. Then March 26th, you're in Franklin. March 28th, New Berlin. You can register today at integratedcollegeplanning.com. You're located in Milwaukee. That's where your office are, but you go out into the community to meet people and answer questions, which is great. Nice to have you both.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, you guys.